Yo guys, it's me Matrix here, coach of the Welsh Wooloos, bringing you round 2 of the Lord Helix Season 2 Draft League. This is the post-draft analysis of our second round. If you haven't already seen the first round's draft analysis, go check it out, it's on the channel. I believe only one match of mine was actually uploaded from round 1. That was against Migrating Milotics, so again, check that out if you haven't already. So a brief introduction into round 2. We're basically using the same tier list with the mons used in the previous round removed. So now we've got the same tier list going, and any mon that was picked in round 1 is no longer being able to be picked in round 2, and so it leads to a few more interesting teams, as a lot of those first round picks or first picks that you would expect to have are no longer part of the draft board. In addition to that, our season 2 round 1 champion, or rather champion winner of round 1, was none other than myself, the Welsh Wooloos.
Of course.
And because of that, the winner of the previous round is able to select a selection of items or group of items to be banned in the upcoming round. And so I chose to remove all negative effect damage boosting items, which basically is just choice band, choice specs, and life orb. So that's what those 3 icons at the bottom there show. And joining us this season, for round 2 even, we have got a return of all 8 coaches, and one of those 8 coaches are joining me here today for this draft analysis. Say hello, Bryan. Sorry for the delayed introduction.
Hi, how's it going, everybody?
So yeah, Bryan's joining me again, coach of the Big Time Slush Rush. Most of you might know him from a few of them. Most of you may know him from some of the other draft analysis I've done on the channel. He was a part of round 1's analysis, so yeah, we'll just get straight into it now. Cool. So we're reusing the same class list. If you haven't already seen it, go check it out in the round 1 draft analysis. It's a lot easier. I've already explained it well there. Basically, we've got the champion, you've got your high attack mon, your high special attacker, your support, your speedy mons, your all-rounders, and your tank units, and then some free picks alongside that. So it's explained a little bit more in detail in the first video, so go check it out if you haven't already. Without further ado, let's move on to our first team. So this team we're doing it in draft order, and we have the Crymych Coalossals from Dr. Dave H. Thinking about it, I could probably say where each team stands in the rankings currently, based on their round 1 ranking. So it'd be quite good to just give a quick update on that front. So we've got Dr. Dave, and as of going into round 2, Dr. Dave is currently ranked at number 4. Guaranteed to finish 4th as well, because there is still 1 game left to be played between 3rd place and 4th place from last season, or the current rank 3. So we're still waiting on 1 more round to be finished up. But Dr. Dave finished in rank 4 with 8 wins and 6 losses, or rather 8 set wins and 6 set losses. I don't remember. We rank them based on like how many individual games have won, like 2-1 or 4-1, 2-0, and that just gets contributed. We don't actually track how many games we actually won. But let's have a look at the team. So he's got that Indeedee. He's got the Indeedee Hatterene combination, hasn't he?
Yeah, that was so big. Like, even though we're doing non-Dynamax, that was such like a big combination in Series 5 and like Series 5 and all that kind of stuff where I started competitive. So that's another monster right there. And then you can pair that up with the Lipard with Prankster Orenburden. Can take the Psychic Seed with the special defense boost and a double speed, so he's like guaranteed some speed control there.
Yeah, and I really like the Blaziken with Psychic Terrain because Blaziken can't be hit by a priority attack, and it's going to be moving first, thanks to its speed boost. So it's got some really good fast mons in Barraskewda as well. He's got the Regidrago, and obviously Regidrago needs a lot of speed control. This team doesn't appear to have any Tailwind to support that Regidrago, which is kind of unfortunate. It does have Electro Web Magnezone, however, so maybe he might be planning on running a slow Regidrago set. Lipard can get pranks of Thunderwave, so maybe that's a way he does it as well. But I do see the Regidrago is going to be a little bit struggling to perform. But
maybe Blaziken gets low sweep. I don't know. Maybe.
Might do. I'm not 100% sure. But he's got a nice little unorthodox fire water grass core. He's got quite an offensive water and fire type, as you would expect. But not so much from Dr. Dave. Dr. Dave doesn't use run
like
super offense.
Bulky, supportive Eviolite Ivysaur there that can double its speed with the Prankster Sunny Day Chlorophyll.
Yeah, and I actually think Ivysaur could do decent damage output, not too far off what Venusaur does, so it's kind of interesting there. Right. I definitely think the Ivysaur is going to be better suited for a supportive role, like Dr. Dave likes to run with Leech Seed, Sleep Powders. Maybe he even runs Stun Spore or whatever it's called. But he's also got Rain Dance Lipard for Barraskewda, so again, he's got really good extremes from both fast and slow. We do see Sheninjas there.
If the team doesn't bring enough Dark, Ghost, Rock, Flying, Fire coverage, then that Sheninja can just sit there for days. They don't have coverage for it.
So that Sheninja, I hate facing Sheninja, honestly. And at least he's got Prankster Weather as well, so you can always reset any like Sand Setters or Hail Setters that are going to be appearing. The Oranguru is a nice pick as well. I really like Oranguru. I don't know, he's got 3 Psychic types, but at least 2 of them are normal Psychics, and the other one's a Fairy Psychic, so they kind of cover for each other's weaknesses a little bit within that core. And you can never underestimate how strong an Instruct from Oranguru is. And let's just say a Dragon's Energy Scarf Regidrago with Instruct. I don't want to be facing that.
No, thank you.
That's pretty strong. Salamence, again, really good Intimidate Mon, or it can be run as Moxie. You've got a hella strong fantasy core with that Dragon, Hatterene, and Magnezone. So, and you're hitting all the speed tiers perfectly well. I really like the team overall.
I would have to agree. This team looks a lot scarier now that I'm seeing it on a PowerPoint, and I'm pretty sure all these teams are going to look like equally scary at some point.
Sure.
You never really, when you're just looking at it through like our little draft server, you don't really notice how scary these teams work together and all that until like you actually see them on top of on these PowerPoints. You're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
I actually think he's got every type here except for Rock and
no Rock.
Ice. Rock and Ice are the only 2 types he hasn't got on this team. Which is quite funny because I'm pretty sure in a league recently he's ran like half his team's ice types, so I think he's got a little bit to just to stray away from those ice types for a moment. But Dr. Dave, really big threat with Indeedee. Like I can't emphasize, like Dragon Dance Salamence next to Indeedee. You can have Sword Stance Blaziken next to Indeedee. You can have Setup Ivysaur next to Indeedee. Indeedee's going to be carrying this team so well.
Absolutely.
Okay. We can move on from Dr. Dave. And we move on to the Commissioner, Tokyo Terrors, with Michael. So Michael with the Tokyo Terrors, he is currently 5th rank as of the last round. He did get 6 kills, he did win 6 sets, but equally lost 6 sets. So he's pretty much bang on smack in the middle, like won 6, lost 6, 35 kills, 36 deaths. It's pretty much on the base mark. After 1 round, his net gain was -1. on the KD. This season, though, this round even, he's gone for a much bulkier team. Like I believe someone else was picking for him. I think his daughter or something. He was just letting him pick a point to the Mons and picking them that way.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty cool team nonetheless. I really like and appreciate Psychic Terrain. And all the Psychic Terrain Mons were picked up this round, I think, or there's a few of them. And what I like about Psychic Terrain is the ability to run Misty Seed on a few of the Mons. And like Misty Seed Gorygeist, bulky as heck. Misty Seed on Aegislash, bulky. Appleton, bulky. Goodra, oh my god, do you want that on a Goodra? Like, it's giving it an AV, but it can also run setup as well.
Yeah.
Like, on the special side, you'd be lucky to break through this team, especially with, like, Blissey. It's just missing Intimidate, I'd say. Like, if it had an Intimidator as well in this team, like, you'd be so scared. The Persimmon has got Defiant, which is really nice, so it deters Intimidate against him, especially with this team being slightly weaker on the offensive side. However, it does open himself up for a lot of cheese potential. Like, he's got Minimize on like Sandaconda, Blissey. He's got Perish Song with Politoed. He can go for Sand Tomb sets, Whirlpool sets, Mean Look, Block. Raichu's pretty fun and funky with its Fake Out and Nuzzle coverage. Aegislash is probably the best mage you could pick for this team because he's lacking a lot of power elsewhere, and it gives him a both physical and special attacker, with monstrous stats. And Tapu Lele is not to be trifled with either. So in my opinion, it's the most offensive of the four Tapus. And I really like Skuntank's defensive typing added to this team as well. So it's really defensively bulky. It's going to be a hell of a pain to deal with. He's got a lot of setup on the team and a lot of disruption. So I can see this team being really annoying.
Yeah, you can potentially run Lele with Raichu, and Raichu they both get Expanding Force. Oh wait,
just Raichu.
Raichu, okay. I thought
none of the Tapus get their signature terrain moves.
It's the play rough that Coco's missing. I was mixing those up, but yeah, that does give him he does have he can do getting Force on Raichu to pair with Lele. I thought he'd be missing. He's kind of missing like Pincurchin or.
Yeah, I was expecting him to pick up an electric terrain mode as well. Especially as none of the mons there can actually set electric terrain other than Raichu. So it is a wasted ability, but like Raichu can still provide without its ability.
Right.
And like he's got some really cool cheese sets, like Leech Seed Store with the Appleton's going to be a pain. He's got Clear Smog with the Skuntank if he wants to remove the opponent's bust as well, so it's really good. I gotta give a lot of respect to the team. Like, he might not have the most damage output, but he still has those options if he chooses. But he's got a lot of bulk and a lot of room for running some spicy sets.
Especially in this round without real big damage boosting items, it might be pretty hard to through his team.
Exactly, yeah, and that's the thing. Like, these teams have got to take into consideration that they're not able to use Life Orb or Specs or Choice Band. So mons on this team, like the Goodra, might be able to survive a lot more than what it would do. It doesn't have to worry about some banded physical attackers. And there's a lot of type diversity anyway, so like at least you had a lot of switching potential. But it means that these mons can be left on the field a little bit more safely with like a +1 defensive boost or something, and be pretty confident that they will survive. But yeah, no, really.
Fire type, but other than that,
yeah, that's true. The Fire Water Grass core is missing a fire type. It is doubled up on the grass core, and then their fantasy core. Ooh.
Fairy,
Sorry?
Dragon Steel, that's there, yeah. So
They've got a very
Good.
strong fantasy core, yes, with Eggy Slash, Tap with Lele,
Yeah,
and
it's
Gudra. So, really nice to see. They've also got the Appleton if they want to choose that as part of their fantasy core as well. I'm actually really scared about this team. It's really, as I say, like I can't express how bulky the team is. I'm pretty sure Sandy Family gets Glare as well as Mean Look, so because of being a snake Pokemon, so that works well with the Polytoad as well. So I'm excited to see what he does with this.
Play a lot of bulky, non-really damaging stuff he can do.
You know, the only thing I feel like this team might be missing as well is if it had Skill Swap Prankster. God, that'd be annoying. I mean, he's got Speed Swap Raichu though, so that also works. And Tapu Lele. Tapu Lele is one of the fastest Skill Swap users.
Nice.
Speed Swap users, so that'd be pretty fun. On like an Appleton. Oof, Leech Seed Recover set. Oh my god.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, that's the Tokyo Terrors. Let's move on to our third team, which is me, Welsh Wooloos. As I've already stated, we did finish on top last round with 13 wins and 3 losses. We managed to win against every team 2-0, except for our loss versus the Sacramento Sandslash, and we lost a set along the way as well. Don't ask me where I lost it. I don't remember. But yeah, we finished top of the table from round 1, and this is my team for round 2. What's your thoughts on it, Brian? And then I'll give you my opinions on it afterwards.
Togepi, excuse me, you've got a lot of setup stuff. You can pair it with like the Sword Stance, Garchomp, Calm Mind Raikou, I guess bulk up, Drafty, Iron Defense, Body Press, Ferrothorn. Got Fast Mode with like the Cinderace. You got Tailwind on Wyvern. Good speed with Garchomp and Raikou. You've got slow modes with Trigroom, Jellicent, Licky. Then I guess does Alakazam get Nasty Plot as well as Calm Mind?
Yes, Alakazam gets Nasty Plot.
Yeah, so you've got a lot of setup to pair with the redirection, or potentially fake out with Drafty. So yeah, you've got a good mix of and slow mons with high damage output as well.
Mm-hmm. No, I really like this team. When I drafted it, I was really happy with it. So I started off just randomly picking mons. I randomly picked Alakazam as my first mon, and then I had to build around that. And it did leave me thinking, oh, kind of wish I didn't pick Alakazam now, because I wanted to pick some other psychic types here and there. But we picked Cinderace as well. I've never used Cinderace before, so I was like, oh, this could be a great opportunity to try it out. And because I picked Cinderace, I know that Cinderace really thrives with redirection, so that's why we ended up going with Togetic. I wanted to get a redirector for Cinderace. And what I like about Cinderace is that obviously Libero, it means that I can get my poison type with Cinderace if I want to. It can be a steel type, it can be fighting. It's pretty good. We all know what Cinderace can do. Alakazam, I just really like the tech it can run. It can be quite techy. And then, yeah, I decided to get Ferrothorn because I thought a really defensive grass or steel type could be really good this round, considering people can't run Banded or Specs against me. So, like, I really appreciated the store potential there. Intimidate is really nice as well, and the Snarl. I really like the fast Noivern, fast Tailwind. It really helps me out. Frisk is a great ability to this season, especially when you know that people are going to be restricted in their item choices. It means that they're going to be a little bit more creative with what they pick. So like having Frisk really helps me just go, okay, so they're doing that, are they? And it's like, it just really helps with the information game. The reason why I picked Licky was actually because of Cloud9, because I know a couple teams are hoping to run Weather, and I was like, well, Licky's a really bulky mon. I've got some really frail mons in Alakazam and Cinderace. And like, he doesn't quite meet the requirements for the bulkiness of a tank unit, but I was like, okay, it's still bulky, it's still rather bulky, and it can provide some interesting support options, and it'd stay around long enough, considering I want to use it for Cloud9. So I'm really happy with the Helix to do that. And Jellicent, similar option. I wanted a bulkier mon again, so I'm trying to really fill out that bulky mode at the bottom end. So I picked Jellicent as my Trick Room setter. I know Alakazam can set Trick Room, but not always what you want to do with a mon at base speed 120. And I also wanted a Ghost type, so yeah, that's how we end up with Jellicent. The problem is that it kind of clashes with Primarina a little bit, like on when I want to bring each one, but I suppose it just depends, like, do I want Ghost coverage this week with Water, or do I want Fairy coverage this week? So that's the difference between them, really. I know Primarina is a little bit more specially offensive as well, and Jellicent's a little bit bulkier, so they do have a slight difference in niche, but they do kind of step on each other's toes a bit. The only reason why I picked Primarina is because I just wanted a strong mage. Primarina was the one that fit the bill, whilst giving me some ice switching, which is again why I've got double water. It's just so I have a extra ice switching, especially considering my steel type is neutral to ice. So, and then yeah, I saw Raikou and Garchomp. I was like, I'll pick Garchomp. I mean, I've got Togetic for the redirection, which I think is really vital for Garchomp as well. And I really like. I've always wanted to try Raikou out, so I know Raikou doesn't get the best speed control for an electric type, but it does get like bulldoze and stuff, so it's not
like... It gets bulldoze, it gets snarl, it can howl to yourself a plus.
Yeah, and I just like the speed tier of Raikou. So I do, on this team I've got a lot of repeating types, like I've got double fairy, double flying, double dragon, so like I do have like some types that cross over, double water, and that means I've not actually got a complete type chart, like I don't have like poison, rock, ice, bug, but they're all some of the lesser types anyway, and I do believe this team is capable of covering that elsewhere, so overall, like, I really like this team. I think it's really fun to try and build with.
Plus, Cinderace does give you those typings if you're running Gunk Shot, Iron Head,
U-turn.
Yeah.
So I do get stabbed elsewhere, yeah, that's true. I really like my Firewater Grass Core in Cinderace, Primarina, and Ferrothorn. I know that they're a little bit different in the speed tiers. But it's pretty good either way. I like that I've got 2 starters as well. Like if I really wanted to do Serene Grace Cheese with like the rainbow effect, it is potential there. And I really like my Fantasy Core as well. Like I've got Primarina as part of the Fantasy Core, Ferrothorn again as part of that Fantasy Core, and then take your pick. Do you want Garchomp or do you want Noivern? It's just I just really like the team. So yeah. That's my thoughts on my team. Moving on, we have got the Sacramento Sandslash, the team that is hot on my tail from last season. They've got one more game to play from round 1, and if they manage to take the set, they do move up into rank number 2. I do believe all they need to do is take one game, and they do take second place. With 10 wins and 3 losses, they are only slightly behind the big time Slush Rush. So,
they lose 2, then they get the 11-5, and that would be just slightly better than me.
Yeah, exactly. They'd be beating you by a +1 differential.
It'd be half a game. It'd be half a game higher.
Exactly. So. The Sandslash only need to, if they win, however, they do take it, they do finish second. But this season, they drafted a bit of a wonky team to start with last season and then finish it off with some real power. This season, they've gone straight in with that Sand mode. Like, they've got Tyranitar, they've got their mascot, Sandslash, in Cantonian form, and they've got a Dracozolt. So immediately, that's the first mode I see, is the Sand mode. However, you look a little bit deeper, and you can see they've also got Perish Trap.
Yep.
They've got like Coalossal with a Perish Body and Perish Song, Lapras, which also gets Perish Song, and Gothitelle, which is one of the most toxic mons I know, with Shadow Tag, preventing the opponents from switching out. So, and Gothitelle is unique in the fact that it's able to run Cosmic Power for boosting up its defenses. Like in singles, Gothitelle is really good at just trapping in something and going for like Cosmic Power, Stored Power, and Rest and Repeat. And just tanking hits, and yeah, that's why Gothitelle is so strong in singles. Aside from that, they've also got Miltank, which is pretty fun, I think. I don't know if it offers overly too much to the team, other than just being a decently fast support mon. Well, it's unique in the fact that it's a fast defensively bulky mon. Yeah. Which means it allows it to do some interesting roles that some of the bulky mons can't usually do because they can't move first. Scizor got that nice stab, steal, and bug with that technician. I actually think Scizor's going to be really good this round because I don't think there's many teams with a load of fire types, and it's really good into the teams that have got like psychic terrain and stuff.
Yeah.
I like the Girder just to complement, just to fill out some of the niche picks, like they needed a fighting type. Girder's pretty bulky with that Eviolite. You don't have that competition elsewhere. Lapras is really nice for bulk as well, to be fair with it. I mean, you can still realistically run a weakness policy set on the Lapras, even out of max. It's just a fun team overall. And Rabombi, real nice pick. It's usually quite a fast mon, and it's very good for like fast support. So,
yeah, and then you've got another really fast Tailwind with Tornadus Therian. Then Rabombi can speed swap into some of the slower stuff like Sandslash and not when it's not in a sand, and speed swap into Girder, Dracozolt, any of those stuff that are a little slower that have a lot of damage output.
Yeah.
I'll welcome a speed swap from Rabombi. So
I can see like a speed swap Tyranitar really as well. Rabombi is also nice to put pressure. Like what you can see is that this team's got like a lot of pressure into like opposing fighting types with Gothitelle, Rabombi, and Hurricane Boy, Tornadus. So like it's able to pressure the fighting types for Tyranitar quite nicely. So. And it's super solid switching with the Ghost type Coalossal. Any more observations about the team?
No, another good overall team, I think.
It is missing its Fire Water Grass core, so it's only got water.
Yeah.
And the Fantasy core is okay. It's Scizor, Dracozolt, and Rabombi. So the typical cores aren't quite there. I would say it's pretty similar to a singles team, really. Like if you think about like in singles, like Tyranitar is a really good singles mon. So Scizor, he's replaced Sandslash's Excadrill, like you know Excadrill for Sandslash here. Miltank's a decent singles mon. Gothitelle is a good singles mon. Tornadus is a really good singles mon with like regenerating. Girder's a good singles mon. Like this team seems to be heavily drawing from Pat Mac's singles background. So
yeah.
He's
definitely one of the players that has kind of a mixed background when it comes to both singles and doubles, as opposed to some of us who are strictly VGC players or VGC draft players. So
yeah, no, Pat's a really good singles player, and he's just as good at VGC in my opinion. Like he's one of the players who can consistently keep me on my toes and beat me. So yeah, good luck in this season, this round. And we move on to Gaz. So yeah, of the Jersey Venusaurs. Now, what's interesting about this team is that he's drafted a Sheer Force mon, which obviously Life Orb is usually ran with Sheer Force. It's a strong item for Sheer Force users, so I actually expected a lot of Sheer Force mons to not be drafted this round. And we still end up with one drafted onto Gaz's team. Who knows? Maybe he goes Zen mode. But this team has got like Regieleki. It's really interesting. You got really extremes with the speed tiers. You got a really fast Regieleki and like two really slow. He's got so many trick room setters as well. Like he's got Cofagrigus Bronzong really down there on the slow end. And Sableye for like quash support. Like this team is there to just be like, no, I'm deciding when and where I'm going first.
The Aromatisse can't be taunted, so it's a really good Trick Room setter. The Wishy-Washy, really good sweeper and Trick Room. We've even got the Unburdened Fake Out with Hitmonlee on there.
Yep. What I really like is that this slow mode is actually really good, like Trick Room. With the Bouffant, Wishy-Washy, and his 3 Trick Room setters, like you could have a realistically just bring a full-on slow mode plus like something else in the back, and it'd be super strong. Sableye is an annoying one. Like something that people don't realize about Sableye is how disruptively annoying it can be. And yes, it gets Fake Out Encore, but you've also got to remember, like Sableye gets access to Fake Out, Encore, and Disable. Now, in one mon, you're able to Prankster Encore them and then disable them the next turn. So if you can get your Sableye to survive, like, what's it going to do? It means that the opponent's forced to switch the following turn. And if you play your cards right and you've got like mons that can use, like, say, Regieleki, you can do like Thunder Cage and trap them in, they can't escape. I believe Sableye also gets access to Mean Look, so you can, if you have a Sableye that's able to survive that one, you're able to just go Mean Look, Encore, and boom. It's stuck struggling.
Yeah.
However, I also like that Regieleki's on the team with Darmanitan, because Darmanitan's a mon that I feel needs that extra boost and help for speed, and because Darmanitan's not able to it needs to be able to move first in order to be effective. So like, and the same really can be said for like Tapbulu and Naganadel. Like they need to be able to move first to be able to do their jobs, and Regieleki really opens it up for them. So he's got 5 good mons on either side of the draft, like 5 good mons on fast, 5 good mons for slow, and then Sableye can just flick between the 2. So like he can easily rotate which fast mons and which slow mons he wants each week, I think. I do think having the Cofagrigus and Bronzong is a little bit redundant. Having both of them, they both provide very similar roles. Possibly could have been a different type or a different mon there, but either way, like I wouldn't want to be going against this team with the intent of being super physical, because you're going to struggle to get past Cotton Guard, Iron Defense. It's just Prankster, Will-O-Wisp, Grassy Seed. It's really difficult to beat that way. So. Any other thoughts?
No, I think that covers that one. They're pretty bulky and hit hard when they hit first, so.
Exactly. I actually do like, the one thing I do like is that Bronzong Cofagrigus, the fact that there's 2 or 3 of them plus Aromatisse, means that you can be a little bit more creative and offensive with the typical Trick Room setters. So all 3 have potential to be Trick Room sweepers themselves. Like Cofagrigus, they've all got decent stats. So if one of them is dedicated as a Trick Room setter / support, one of the others could be a more offensive piece, and going into the match, you have no idea which one that is. Fire Water Grass Core, pretty good. Darmanitan, Wishy-Washy, and Tapbulu, pretty strong. And then the Fantasy Core, Naganadel, Aromatisse, Bronzong. I actually think that's a really good Fantasy Core, personally. So yeah. moving on, we come on to Dunikin and the Midland Marowaks. This is an interesting team to me. I'd probably say it's my least favourite of the of this draft round.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really sure what's going on.
Pick some of the Pokemon that he's using in VDL now. He's got the he has Circuitry this, or is that someone else who has Circuitry in VDL? I don't remember. But definitely got the Escavalier there.
Yeah, he's got a solid trick. He's got a solid trick room with Dusclops, Escavalier, and Violi. Like, that's really good trick room there. Like, the one thing I find though, like this team, is that you're competing for Eviolite, and I'm not sure if I really like that. Like, Riolu can be Focus Sash, sure, but I think it's just as good with Eviolite. And Dusclops and Clefairy both want Eviolite. Like, they both want Eviolite. Like, they're nowhere near as good without Eviolites, in my opinion, and that makes it really difficult for them to during prep. I do kind of respect the Inteleon plus Cradily, because you got that snipe shot that can't be redirected by Cradily, so that's pretty damn cool. And Escavalier plus Dusclops is actually a decent combo as well. Like, you can do Rain Dance as well, Pranks and Rain Dance to help Escavalier to stay alive. You've got Intimidate with Crocodile, which is pretty fun. So you've got a lot of ways to try and enable Escav, and I think that's kind of what the team's trying to go for. Wobbuffet is interesting, Shadow Tag. But I've seen it do some work recently. I just don't really know what it's going to do here. And then
I don't know if this team really warrants the Shadow Tag with Wobbuffet, really.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not 100% sure.
Just Wobbuffet's one of those mons where the team has to warrant it, really. You can't just slap it on and have it as a Shadow Tag mode, because it can still be exploited, even with its high HP.
Yeah, but you gotta respect the fact that at least they've got like the Dragapult really threatens any other ghost types that come against the Wobbuffet to try and get around the Shadow Attack. Xurkitree, really strong special attack, like super strong. It's ridiculously powerful.
173 or something like that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous how strong that Xurkitree can be, and it means that it can actually get quite bulky because of it can invest more in its bulk. Escav, I really like the mon. I just don't know how well it's going to perform here. I'm not the biggest fan of Magmortar, but I at least respect the fact that they've tried to complete their Firewater Grass core, even though it's the strangest core I've ever seen in Inteleon, Magmortar, and Cradily.
Strange, but Cradily fits really well with Inteleon.
Yeah, it's interesting for that snipe shot and Storm Drain.
Snipe shot. And still gets off its snipe shot despite Storm Drain, so it kind of works there.
Yeah, I kind of respect that. I do like that. I don't really know if they really needed the Storm Drain per se. They've only got 2 mons weak to water on their team, but maybe it wants to run Suction Cups and Leftovers and not lose its item. I don't know. But yeah, Crook's pretty cool. Really strong for intimidating the opponent's mons, which is really nice. And Dragapult can be run as either fast support, fast offensive, or it can be a little bit slower and a bit more bulky. So, really versatile mon. And Clefairy plus Dragapult is actually really
threatening. They're really only missing the poison type.
Yeah, I don't think they've got a lot of the types there. They don't necessarily need a poison type. I just really dislike the fact that they've got so many little cut mons or NFEs like Dusclops, Clefairy, and Riolu. It's going to really create a competition for who's running Eviolite. And then you've got the other option, like the other mons that are fully evolved, like Crook, Inteleon, Magmortar, Xurkitree. A lot of those potentially want to run Focus Sash, and they're going to be outcompeted for Focus Sash by the not fully evolved mons. So.
And unfortunately, he doesn't have a lot of setup. He doesn't have Xurkitree doesn't have Tail Glow this generation, so
thank goodness.
Yeah, and then
he does have access to
maybe
haze.
Some of them have Swords Dance somewhere or something like that.
Yes, Escav gets Swords Dance. Inteleon
Dragon
gets
Dance,
focus
oh my
energy.
goodness.
You've got Dragon Dance. You've got Stockpile radially. And there's potential. There's a lot of potential for like setup if they really want to do that. But yeah, that's the Midland Marowaks. Anything else?
No, I think we're covered on this one.
Alright, cool. So, we now move on to your team, Big Time Slush Rush, Bryan.
So, got a lot of setup options. We've got a lot of sword stances. We've got iron defense body presses. We got shell smashes. We've got belly drums. For that to help the Fable could help with that. My main Trick Room mon. That's Lone Executor with a pretty decent Trick Room mode. The helps of Fairy, Greedence, Marowake, and it actually does get. I'm allowed to use the Thick Club, so I thought that was a really cool way to still get more than 1.2 times boost.
Yeah, that's true. That's
a legal way of running it. And Pheromosa can do speed swap stuff. It's got quick guard. Can do fake out on Sneasel. So cool stuff, I think, that I can afford.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, you've got a lot of setup there. You've got that Shell Smash, the Belly Drum, everything you've already said. You've got some decently fast fake out mons. Sneasel's really good, obviously, because the inner focus, meaning that it can't be faked out itself, which means that the opponents will have to have a faster fake out in order for, in order for them to be able to stop what you want to do. You've got a decent follow me mon. I really like the potential for you to be able to set up like with some of your slower bulky mons, and then your redirector or fake out user dies, and then Venusaurs just comes in and speed swaps them the stat, and they're just blowing you out of the water. So that's pretty fun. Like, imagine that. Oh god, Call Fight, no thanks. So yeah, like a really, really cool team. Like, interesting concept for the way that it's been drafted together. And then I feel like Marowake doesn't have to rely on its lightning rod on this team. It can do for the Corviknight if it wants to, but you've already got the Togedemaru, so you're more than likely going to be running like Rockhead or Curse Body, I think it gets. So
yeah.
So, which is pretty cool. Starmie's a really nice mon. He's got some really fast mons on the team, obviously, as you say. Starmie, Sneasel, Pheromosa, and then some really nice slow, bulky ones. A few 4 times weaknesses here and there, but like Pheromosa doesn't care. It could be neutral; it'd still die. You might have a bit of competition for Focus Sash a couple of weeks when you might want to be wanting to run a Lightning Rod instead of Sturdy on the Togedemaru, and then you've got Starmie, Sneasel, and Pheromosa all trying to compete for that Focus Sash a little bit.
Yeah, that is one of the things that to worry about, but we'll see what happens.
And yeah, like maybe just be careful of like any hazes from the opponent. Because I feel like that could be quite strong against you. What's nice is that the Fable's got Unaware, which is a real nice one, especially in a season where I expect there to be a lot of setup. Unaware Fable could be really handy. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, with that, I think that's come to the end of.
I think we have one more.
Come to the end of your draft. There's one more player, but I think that's everything we've got to say about your team. So we're finishing off now with the Migrating Milotics and Brave. Really fun team, actually. So they've drawn inspiration from another player who centered part of their draft plans around Meowstic. And so we have this team here with Meowstic, Prankster, Skill Swap. And what's interesting is that they have a lot of mons on this team that can really benefit from Prank's skill swap. You've got that Iron Defense Registeel. Oof, don't want to be facing that. Like Iron Defense Registeel. With Body Press, you've got Slowbro, which has got Regenerator, or it's got Carmine Slack Off, or Carmine Iron Defense Body Press Slack Off. That's awful to be thinking of. Quagsire is a really cool mon if it's skill swaps with Prankster, like Eerie Impulse and Toxic and a few other moves there. Tangrowth can also be done with. Tapu Fini can also be done with. And like Tapu Fini is a really horrible one to face because of one of the benefits of facing Tapu Fini really is that you can often enough outspeed it before it sets up. But Driftblim with that Tapu Fini is good because they've got Misty Seed plus Unburden boost. And you may have got that Tailwind up. Rotom is a really cool fire type to have on this team. Especially as not many mons left have got the Mold Breaker ability to be able to hit the Levitate. Hit for Levitate, and that's made certain because they have picked up Haxorus. So that's one of the Mold Breaker mons. So I really like their Disruption with the Stoutland, with Intimidate. They've got Rage Powder set up with Tangrowth. Like, this team can be really annoying. And aside from that, they've also got, like, Weavile, which can do Weavile shenanigans, which is able to just do, like, big damage with, like, triple axles or just disrupt with Icy Winds or Snarls or like that. But they have a lot of room for recovery on this team. Between double regen, recover, rest, slack off, strength sap. So I feel like this team's going to be really hard to wear down.
Yeah, definitely agree. And also Quagsire can potentially get that extra stockpile to make it even bulkier than it already is. So
yeah,
a lot of stuff that definitely use a prankster defense buff move, and so I guess it's definitely a great way of doing that.
Yeah, and one of the more annoying pieces that I find is that you've got at least 3 mons that can switch in for Registeel, which often enough you want to be hitting with fighting type moves, and 2 of those switch in both on fighting or fire. Like so Slowbro and Tapu Fini can both switch in for Registeel, and so it's definitely going to be an annoying team to face. I really look forward to seeing what the sets they do. They've got a really cool Fire Water Grass combo, like Tangrowth, Rotom, and Tapu Fini. They're all around the same speed, so that's really nice. I do consider Tapu Fini as part of that combo more than I do Slowbro, and definitely more than Quagsire, but yeah, I suppose you can also include them if you wish. Their Fantasy Core, they have Registeel. I mean, need more be said. They have Haxorus, which is
really good in these non-Dynamax formats.
Yeah, they've got Haxorus, which I think is a really good mon. Like it's got Unnerve and Mold Breaker as potential abilities, which is it can be super annoying. What's also really cool about Haxorus is that it's a very offensive piece on an otherwise really bulky team. So it allows it to have that physical pressure where a lot of his more bulky mons are actually either body press variants or special. So having a physical mon like Haxorus just to get that big physical damage out is really nice. Oh, and it can't be burned. Like, Haxorus and Registeel are protected by Misty Terrain, so brilliant there as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Like Registeel having clear body and Misty and can't be burned from the Misty Terrain. I don't know, man. I don't know how you're gonna stop that thing from setting off. It doesn't have to run Lumberry. It can run Mental Herb, and yeah, really difficult. Really cool team. Any closing remarks for this team?
No, I think we covered a lot of the tankiness of this team.
Yeah, I agree. Ice Shard, Weakness Policy, Driftblim. Anyone? Okay, well, that's the end. So, I forgot to change the page at the end. So, yeah, that's the end of the draft review, guys. I'm really looking forward to this season. To see what all the spicy sets that are being brought, and hopefully we'll see a change in the positions. We'll see. Wonder if, well, hopefully I stay on top. But I forgot to mention some of the other positions. So going back to these from the Jersey Venusaurs, the Jersey Venusaurs are currently at the bottom of the rankings at 8th as of round 1, with only 2 wins to their 14 set losses. Dunican is currently in 7th with 4 set wins to his 12 losses, so just edging out Gaz there with a 2-0 win somewhere. Yourself, Big Time Slush Rush, well, your final placement all depends on whether this Sandslash end up winning their last match of the season. If they win, they go above you. If they take a set, they go above you. But if they get 2-0'd, then you stay in 2nd. Otherwise, you move down to 3rd. And then lastly, we have Brave Migrating Milotics. They had a very mixed season or round where they got 5 set wins and 9 losses. But yeah, I think that's everything we have to say. Thanks for joining me today, Bryan.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And I hope to see you all in round 2, and can't wait for the cheese to begin. Thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah.
Until next time. Peace out.
Hey, guys.